Others will say Congress isn't responsive to the people as it is. Well, of course not. Politicians are responsive to those with the power. Right now, the banks have the power. We have to take back the ultimate power of any nation, the power over its money. With the power of banks diminished, politicians will become responsive to the voters once again. If we value the Founding Fathers' dream of freedom and escape from serfdom by political self-determination, we have to conclude that creating our money is too important a function to be put into private hands. History has shown time and time again that leads only to plutocracy, rule by the rich, and ultimately slavery. But what about the banks? They're already failing. Let the big banks fail. No bank is too big to fail. Government can issue its own money. We don't need their hyper-expensive compounding interest system. Don't worry, banks or banking won't go away. You'll still go down to your corner bank to deposit your check. Your bank will still be there. Only the guts, the bank's accounting system, the part you will never see anyway, will change.
At the moment, most of our means of exchange is these electronic digits, which will jump from one bank account to another as we do our business and so on. So there's this cloud of numbers moving about in the economy, which is our means of exchange. Now, where do they come from? They all come into existence when somebody, somewhere, takes out a loan. Every pound circulating, I'm not talking about the physical cash in your pocket, I'm talking about the electronic digits, has been borrowed by somebody in the past. So the overall effect of that is that society as a whole, that's us, is actually paying interest to the issuers of these digits for their existence. So the lending and the issuance are stuck together at the moment. I think that's what we want to change. We want to separate that. Put the issuance in the hands of a public body, which will issue the whole of our currency debt free in the public interest, by the people, for the people, etc. Thereafter, we can lend it to each other, borrow it from each other in the normal way. So for the average person, you won't notice that much difference, except you'll find the whole of society, the whole of economy is a lot better off, because there's not this background draining, siphoning of these money numbers back to the issuers.
It does not mean that the banks will be unable to be prosperous. They would have a slightly different business model than they enjoy now, but not even all the banks have that model today. You have savings and loans, credit unions, loan companies that historically don't create new money, but yet they do intermediate money, they do loan it out, they do take deposits. That would not end. So banks would still have, in my opinion, would have a very prosperous future.
The banks will be businesses like all other businesses, and will have to earn their living through providing valuable services which other people are willing to pay for.
All we need in the face of this oncoming first depression of the 21st century is a little education. We can make this the new civil rights movement, the new human rights movement. Nations of the world, the same applies to you. Virtually every nation now labors under the same monetary system. All money is created at interest, as a debt. Once again, we're falling for the bankers' threats of economic collapse, just like when Andrew Jackson tried to kill the Second Bank of the United States. It's nothing but pure extortion, world extortion. Let them fail. Remember, all this money we're giving them is at interest. Money we are borrowing to give to the banks. Then these very same banks have the audacity to loan this money back to us at more interest. This system has got to go.
I think it'll be a very big change. I think it will be actually an essential change. Looking to, let's say, the next 100 years or so, in the survival of our species. Absolutely. To get this thing straight.
That's the secret that can set humanity free. Our children won't be saddled with any more national debt. That's right, no more national debt. That term will cease to exist. And don't fall for the argument that those rascals in Congress will spend too much money if they get the power to create money. Look at what they're doing now. They aren't spending it, they're just borrowing it, then giving it away. It can't get any worse. The questions raised by the study of the symbolism embedded in the wonderful Wizard of Oz are even more important when you understand that this is not just an American problem, it's totally international. This privately owned money system is worldwide and is literally the primary cause of most of the world's hunger, poverty, misery, and disease.